Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another Market Mates episode. It's good to be back with you guys. Thanks for hanging with us. Craig, mate, it's what day of the week is it? Tuesday day, GM to you. And how are you on this fine Tuesday, mate?
GM, Greeny, GMG, everyone. Yeah, dude, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, dude, business as usual. Good morning. Yeah, just been digging a hole yesterday. Took a pool out. We had a little pool in the backyard. We decided to get rid of that. So I was digging.
Oh, you got rid of a pool. Okay.
Yeah, it was getting a bit old, and like it was either repair it or it was just a cheapie though. It was just a cheap one we put in a few years ago. And it's a pain in the ass, man. I'm sick of trying to mow and weed around it. I was like, this thing's got to go. So 35 degrees with a spade, man. Amazing time. So I'm a bit like sore, eh? Getting old, dude. Don't get old. Hey, no, I'm not too bad, eh? I'm not too bad.
I'm blistering on my lip today. From like, I'm so mad, man. Like I've got, like, you probably can't quite tell, but there's a red eyelid. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I know I had sunscreen on here. Like, lips, fair enough. It's like, I would have put it on, but it would have come off. But I'm so mad because, like, being a PE teacher in the past, I could easily go in the sun for hours and I'd be okay. Obviously now being a bloody hermit at home, a hermit crab, and not going out in the sun, I had sunscreen on, don't you worry. But it obviously didn't do anything because I've just been absolutely smashed. And also, like, I got my hair cut, so like anything like up into the here into your hair is just like red as. So yeah, guys, as always, sun safety is so important, particularly if you're Scottish heritage like myself. It's good to put a bit of sunscreen on, particularly in Australia, dude. The Australian sun is next level, Craig. It's arguably the worst sun in the world.
Yeah, it's terrible. The only one sun I've found worse in Australia is New Zealand. Even going back there on holiday in Queenstown and that, it will be like a high of, say, 25, which is a lot less than here, but you just get annihilated in the sun. I think because the ozone layer straight above NZ is this big hole, yada, yada. But, man, over there, half an hour and you get like, I'll go red. I'm like, what? Here, 2 hours and I'm okay. So it's weird how it changes. But, yeah, shout out to New Zealand. Hope you guys are good. Hope you're enjoying the cold weather there, New Zealand, and your shite summer. No abstract stream now because my restream, I took it off the paid one, and then you can't stream because it ended the sub. Oh, I'm gonna have to pay for that because I've got to stream on Thursday, and I've got to pay you. Yeah, you. Oh, god damn it. That's funny. That's fine though. Yeah, you can't.
I could start the stream on mine and just leave, and you just don't. Oh no, I could leave your screen up too. That could work. I mean, we could talk about. I mean, I've got to be somewhere at 9, but it's only like 3 minutes away, so it's not too bad.
Gotcha. We'll work something out. I'll have a look at the prices again today. It only ran out like last week, so that's why I can't stream to abstract because you've got to have a paid one to send it to a custom, whatever you call that.
Yeah,
abstract users, whatever it's called. So sorry, I will be back there. I just haven't paid for the streaming service for this year.
Well, so we'll talk news events, obviously, to begin with the show, guys. We'll look at price as well. But comment your favorite tickers. We will judge your altcoins, your favorite meme coins. Comment your tickers in the chat. Comment them in the chat. And we'll take a look at them later in the show. They can be anything, degenerate, as you like. And we will analyze them, scrutinize them, tell you whether you should sell it all or sell your house and buy them. We'll tell you that. But obviously, it's educational purposes only, not financial advice. So always do your own research. So yeah, drop your tickets, guys, in the chat. We'll start off with the first article today, guys. Korean crypto exchange accidentally gives away 40 billion in Bitcoin, triggers a brief market chaos. BitThumb mistakenly credits hundreds of users with $40 billion in phantom Bitcoin after an employee entered BTC instead of KRW for a $140 reward. 40 billion or a $1.40. The error caused a 16% flash crash on the exchange as users rushed to sell. Though 99.7% of the funds were recovered within minutes. BitThumb will cover the remaining $9 million loss using corporate funds while facing an on-site inspection from South Korean regulators. I'm sorry. How do you get this wrong? There is no similarities between BTC and KRW at all. I'm sorry, but how do you make a $40 billion mistake, Craig?
Did they actually send actual BTC, or was just something that had a misnamed ticker?
I don't know. It looks like they got phantom BTC and people tried to be like, sell.
Maybe it's because exchanges, I don't know if this is right or not, the BTC that they sell there, it's not actual BTC, right?
No,
Is it?
It's synthetic. It's synthetic BTC.
Yeah. So it could actually happen, couldn't it?
Yeah, which is why we saw such a dump over the last week or so, because it's all synthetic based. It's options, it's futures, perps.
Yeah.
Look, it's not actual spot Bitcoin transferring hands, right?
Yeah. So I guess it could happen. And hilarious in a way. Gee, that's a big loss. I mean, that's 9 million loss for a typing error. Shucks. Like, and then you've got the regulators looking at you straight away. You'd be like, no.
You're the employee that does that? Oh, brother, I feel sorry. Or sister, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry.
Do you reckon that was an inside job? Like, as in...
Nah, I think it would have been a mistake. Look, who knows?
It's an honest mistake.
We won't know. We won't know.
Anywho, that's a ripper, though.
That is a ripper.
Send me some.
Send me some. Yeah, my wallet's open. I mean, I spoke about this recently. I need to claim my $70 Bitcoin now that it's at 70K, guys. I get way more Bitcoin there than I do at 125. Lynn Alden says that the Fed's next money printing era will be slow and subtle, not a Bitcoin supercycle. Very strategic words here, not a Bitcoin supercycle. The takeaways: Trump's nomination of Kevin Warsh, as we discussed yesterday, for Fed chair, has introduced market uncertainty. Well, as always, that makes sense, with investors weighing his historically hawkish stance against recent comments supporting lower interest rates. Economist Lynn Alden, very well known, predicts a gradual print era where the Fed expands its balance sheet by 20 to 25 billion monthly to match GDP growth, providing steady rather than sudden liquidity. The environment of consistent liquidity expected to favor the scarce assets like gold, Bitcoin, which recently rebounded 2.8% to trade approximately at $71,000. For me, Craig, this makes sense. Like, if you're coming in way too, like, he would literally destroy the US economy if he does what Trump wants him to do. Like, if he comes in and just absolutely drops rates, it slams liquidity, you literally front run the US dollar to zero. And sure, you might get a lucrative period of assets outperforming over a 2-year period, a 3-year, 5-year max. But that would damage the economy like unprecedented levels that I don't know if they could ever come back from that. So it's no surprise that the guy that obviously is going to be elected has to have some clue of, yeah, he might be in Trump's favor, but he also needs to like be aware of global economics and understand like how to properly run a country and GDP growth and whatnot. So look, it's really interesting because Australia is the only country in the world right now that's increasing rates. Everywhere else is looking to decrease. But again, I would say that are we just front running what's going to happen globally? There's a stock macro trader that I follow recently, who's very bearish on stocks. Maybe I'll pull up a tweet that I read last night. But what's your thoughts here, Craig, on this?
Yeah, I guess as far as people that speak about price, like Lynn Alden, I've listened to a few of her things. That's quite a more measured news article compared to normal. Almost like the news articles are starting to get more in the middle, bearish now rather than too bullish. Whereas a month ago, all these articles were, people speaking about Bitcoin going to 250K, Ethereum going to 10,000 or whatever friggin' those retards were saying. But whereas I guess this is a bit more sensible and maybe trying to temper expectations of the market moving forward. But I mean, the market's already made its move, hasn't it? And it's already dumped and it's now just going to crab. So yes, I think Lynn's probably correct here. But I think there's a lot of players in there. It's already moved downwards, already got to digest the move. It's already going to move sideways, I think, for quite some time. And now this article will back up the movement that's happened and probably going to happen for the next X amount of time until the market digests the dump we had on Bitcoin. I mean, I think, probably the most correct news article I've seen in a while, probably. I'm interested to see what that new chair will do. I don't know, man. America's such an interesting one. It's tricky to predict because there's so much like gamesmanship
Yeah.
even by Trump in the media. He
Yeah.
baits, and
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
you just can't. It's so hard to work out. It's a lot of chess being played, and I got no idea, man. What they're saying to the media and what's actually happening is possibly very different. I don't know. I got no idea.
Yeah, I mean, if we so this is I'll pull up his account in a sec too, but this is a guy I followed for a while. He's a macro trader since 2003. He's a Bitcoin since 2013, and billion-dollar dreams he has. He's worth hundreds of millions. I'm pretty sure this guy. Um, it's really interesting. The X algorithm for crypto Twitter is so back. I'm not even kidding. I have tweets doing 20 plus K consistently now. It's crazy. And there's a guy I follow, Killer BTC, who went giga viral on Twitter because he called the top and called the bottom. And I followed him for a few months now, and he followed me back yesterday, which is lovely. Nice. Respect equals respect there, which is nice. I mean, he only follows 200 people, but he went from 40,000 followers, Craig, to over 110,000 followers in the past week.
Wow.
Because of how giga viral he went and how accurate he's been with his analysis. So there's hope out there for you guys. You just got to put out enough content, and quality and quantity. There's a fine balance. I think the more quantity you put out, and that's how I've grown to nearly 43,000 followers. It's consistency. I've posted every day for 2.5 years or however long it is now. So highly recommend posting on Twitter, growing your brand, and quality will come out of that, and viral nature will come out of that. But back onto this topic of the US uncertainty. This guy, one of probably the best macro traders on the timeline, at least, who gives good updates. He says that the US economy is a fatal flaw that experts are refusing to talk about. But basically, the hard truth is the next crash won't look like a global contagion. I've been watching capital flows for a decade. We used to worry about systemic risk, but the new threat is sovereign insolvency. So when he says this, he doesn't mean classic default like you saw in 2008. He means fiscal dominance of inflation, financial repression, and forced buyers. If you think it looks like 2008, then it's not going to. You're going to be completely wrong. So the US isn't going to drag the world down with it this time, and that's the big thing. You got to remember, like, Asia has big players. UK has a lot of money. Australia's up and coming nation with a lot of natural resources. Not every country is, and again, people in the US don't really realize that the world is out. There's a world out there outside the US. The lesson here is, like, the US, if it sinks alone, which he's articulating here, like, I don't think the rest of the world would actually really care, because they've been the dominant economic force for the last couple hundred years of humans, or maybe a little bit longer. But before that, they weren't, right? So like, over time, there's different wealths that, like, think back in the Romans, you think back to the Greeks, you think back to like China dominance way back when they obviously built the Great Wall of China, all that sort of stuff. So, like, it ebbs and flows who really has the supremacy of economics worldwide, Craig. So this is really interesting because he goes into, like, why. So basically, there's a US is stuck in sovereign debt spiral. The Fed has to print to buy treasuries, destroying the dollar but saving the bond market. Regulations force foreign banks to ring fence capital. A crisis in New York doesn't trigger a margin call in London anymore. That's the point I'm alluding to very clearly here. Emerging markets trade with each other now. The US consumer no longer is the sole engine of global GDP. The Fed will stay higher for longer to fight stagflation, while the ECB and China cut rates to stimulate growth. There's the separation. The toxic assets are US commercial real estate and US treasuries owned by US banks. The rest of the world is dumping this exposure as we speak. That's localized depression. So what would invalidate it? He goes on to talk about that. When US risk gets contained, capital doesn't disappear; it reallocates. That's a big lesson for people out there. Is money in the world doesn't leave; it just reallocates to the next thing that is worth a bit. We've seen that with gold, silver. We saw that with crypto from 23 to 25. We've seen that with the stock market. Okay, it just reallocates. It goes into the bond market. Okay, goes into property. The liquidity is always reallocating to the next best thing. So commodities, as he talks about, hard assets into stocks. So can you profit? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Craig, what did I say literally on stream yesterday? Do not put your eggs in all one basket, okay? Highly recommend it. And this is a guy who's been macro trading for 20 plus years. So again, if I'm saying that and I've only been doing it for like full time for 3 years, it's good. I've got that wisdom already ahead of time. So I'm grateful for that. But also don't keep your basket in just one country. Again, like I like to do, I like to diversify. I own ETFs across multiple countries' economies own different assets. Crypto very much a world asset. A home, as of this week, is an Australian-based asset, right? So do think about that. Get it or get it out of passive US index funds, which have historically been very safe, like 2 to 3% yield every year. And rather, as long as you're 100% long on the S&P 500, you are the collateral damage. They need to reset the system. That doesn't make me a doomer. It just makes me opportunistic. By the way, I'll break down specific around. Give me a follow. A little follow shield at the bottom. But Craig, I mean, we just broke that down with a lot of detail. What do you think, as someone that owns a house that has done really well in crypto? Is the US doomed? Is the US doomed?
Yeah, well, even that article side, if you look at the lifespan or the life cycle of superpowers,
Yes.
the US has been in a decline for quite some time, and China's been in an upward trend, whereas the US has been on a downward trend. And if you look at the life cycle of superpowers, it's a changing of the guard's been happening for some time, but is coming to an end for the US now. That's actually something I read a good decade ago.
Yeah.
That was coming, and it was hard to picture a decade ago, even 2 decades ago, especially. It was hard to picture a world where the US wasn't the king, right, with the petrodollar, petroleum, what they defend so much. That's what the army tends to defend, yada, yada, yada. That's how they make their money. Thus going to other countries, grabbing heaps of their oil, as we've seen over decades of them going to war. A lot of the time it's to grab oil.
Resources, exactly. Resources.
And just seeing that I think it's maybe the end of an era for the US, or I don't know if I want to
dominance. Let's say dominance, an end of dominance era. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's evening out, and China's the one that's been touted as the next superpower, and it probably makes a lot of sense.
Asia,
in Asia, and that's probably why you see a lot of countries that have been starting to cozy up with China for quite some time, Australia included. We've been selling our soul to them for a little bit.
We've been pally for a while. We have been, yeah.
We've been getting chummy. You've got other countries getting chummy. You've got the BRICS nations like Brazil and South Africa, where I was born, now talking about getting away from the petrodollar. So there's been signs for a while that this reshuffling is happening. I guess it's like anyone. If you look at those countries who are reshuffling their Craigie poo, that's thrown me. They're reshuffling their deck. I guess other countries are now diversifying risk.
Yes.
And I guess that hurts the US because everyone was all in on the US, more or less, and now they're not. That post there you just put up, though, that's pretty in depth. I need to read that a lot more. That's a banger, dude.
The most important follow nearly on Twitter is, I found that shout out to Aussie who shared this in GTG last week or the week before. So yeah, great follow.
I'd need to digest this and break it down line by line. The Basel III regulations, they came in. I mean, when I first got into crypto, people were speaking about them. Did that have something to do with gold reserves as well, required to be on the books? It was something like that. Yeah. So I think banks were required to, basically it involved, I mean, it's a bit above my pay grade. I have to go back. I haven't looked at it about 4 years, but it had to do with banks. It's setting banks up to not suffer the same fate as they did in 2008. So it's to protect that. So what he's saying there, I am semi-familiar with, but geez, that's a banger post. Each line of that requires like a little bit of research for me to make sure A, it's accurate, B, I agree, and C, I can even make sense of it. But great post, dude. What a banger post. Well done. That's
good. It is. I'm glad we brought this up on stream. The thing too here is tech is arguably holding up the US. Without tech and obviously their defense force, you would argue what else does America really have going for it in comparison to what growth is coming out of other countries, or dominance that is coming out of other countries? So very interesting times in there. How do you think this affects crypto, particularly more so assets that are pegged to the US dollar?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. How does it affect it? I'm trying to even. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Are we better not, should me and you be holding Bitcoin against AUD, not USD? Probably. Particularly yeah, if that chart's going to continue outperforming, which I haven't actually looked at for a while.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I just don't know the cyclic movements of currencies against each other and how long they last for. Because the only thing I'd want to double check is that I'm not being overreactive and taking a current trend as something that's going to be longer than months. And if I rotate, then in months' time I have to rotate again. But at the same time, a really good question. I just don't know the answer. I haven't really been in this position before, so
No.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen to the US dollar, but is this bear market things now where we start to talk about exotic problems that are going to blow up and they don't blow up?
But I agree with that, right? Because it's like everyone's like searching for reasons, trying to understand why. That's not what we're doing here. We're actually analytically looking at what's happening in real time and trying to prepare probably for that greater move. Like if you look at this chart, Craig, like this consolidated for 5,327 days. Like I can't even do the math on that. Is that like that's like 16 years of consolidate, not a consolidate, like a corrective wave, right? The last outperformance was here, okay, where it lasted about 3-4 years. But before that, it was in a greater breakout of about, what's that, like 10-12 years. So like it has corrected in the past, right? And then broken out. AUD versus USD. And usually when it breaks out, it does go on a good tear. Like it's outperformance by like nearly a 2x, Craig. So this has I'm not worried here, but I should be maybe considering, like, this is why I hold something like Bitcoin, because it's like it's an asset in itself and you can always sell it back to AUD. It doesn't have to necessarily be BTC, but yeah, it's really interesting. And what we saw the slowdown over the last week, but this is back up. It's now over the past month or two, the AUD is up 8.28% against the US dollar. So for me and you, Craig, that's a worry because we hold US dollar based assets. That nearly makes me want to sell like my Pudgy Penguin and stuff, because right now, I see this break. Like if it follows the trend, like as soon as you break a trend here and show strength here, like we're seeing, historically, that, as we just showed, can last for years, not months, but years. So this breakout in AUD versus USD, for example, and I'm sure if you go and look at other examples like AUD versus New Zealand's breaking out as well. So AUD versus Japan's breaking out. So like the AU dollar is looking pretty strong here against a lot of currencies. So it's hard for us in crypto to really comprehend that. So I would highly recommend, if you are based around the world, is compare your dollar to Japanese versus USD, which has been a big topic conversation recently, is not outperforming, okay, the US dollar. So very circumstantial base. Like, I mean, what about the pound? Like GB, is it JGB? Yeah, USD. Let's have a look at this. So, I mean, if we zoom out and have a look at this, this has been in a corrective wave for a long time. So, but is it about to outperform? You could say it's outperforming too at the moment. So this is the worry I have, is like you might make money in crypto. See, what we did over the last couple of years is make a lot of money in US dollars, like put that back in the bank, and it did really well, right? More recently, it's actually more bearish to be trading on US based assets. You should be trying to trade in AUD, or at least making money converting back to AUD, not stables, at least in Australia, because what we're showing you is that the chart is showing a lot of weakness, Craig. But does this change your habits? Like, be real here with us. Like, does this change your habits now about what you sell or what you buy?
I mean, looking at that chart there, regardless, like, so we just ignore the fact that was currencies. Yeah, you'd probably buy that breakout, wouldn't you?
I'd love it. I'd be long.
I'd be long too, and it looks like that's going to go on an absolute ripper run, dude. Like, and it looks, I mean, I just had a quick look because I haven't looked at this before, not much, only with you. When it broke out last time in 2003, it ran all the way to 2008.
Yeah.
That's a 5-year run. So I made mention before, I don't want to react to a bear market, and it might be a couple of month move. That's a friggin' that's a 6 year, 5, 6.
Dude, that's an 80% outperformance. That's nearly our dollar being worth the exact same as the US dollar, Craig. That is crazy.
Yeah. You see, I was a young fella then. Pretty interesting, actually. That's really interesting. I didn't realize the Aussie dollar had fared so well against the US for so long. Obviously, that was leading into the GFC, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, then it crashed, but then it continued that breakout higher.
Yeah.
Like the move wasn't done. So
what the hell?
It literally went up 2x, Craig, in the space of what, like a 10-year period.
Yeah, man. Really interesting. Really interesting. What's Raz saying? A good way to find explosive currencies, look at currency futures. Find a pair future in a downtrend with one in an uptrend. Euro uptrend versus, what's that, Japanese?
So Euro JP. Yeah, I mean, let's look at that. So
Euro JP,
yeah, outperforming. Like, it's a clear breakout here. This is arguably where the Aussie dollar currently is like here, right? Like that's where the Aussie dollar currently is, and probably is breaking out against the US dollar. So is this like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, it looks like, and this has me worried because everyone I deal with, every conversation we have, how much do you want? This amount for this retainer, or this much for this deal, or I'm trading this token. It's in US and I'm currently I'm down 8% since December by just holding US based assets, let alone Ethereum going down. USD against Ethereum, USD against BTC going down. So, oh, dude, it makes me want to really reconsider a lot. And you know what? It makes me bullish on buying a house, to be honest, because it's diversified my assets outside of US dollar, like, and particularly because like the way that I've structured my business and everything, like everything I deal with, like even one of my accountants likes to get paid in US dollars, and I was like, shit. I'm very exposed to US currency right now. I need to somehow negate that and buy a house, maybe get into other assets, because like we're seeing, like if you get an outperformance here, that is like, I could be down in terms of 2x in a couple of years time, Craig, if I hold these assets. Like my pudgy penguin would, like, for example, is what, it was 23,000 US dollars, which at the time maybe was like 30 to 40,000 Australian dollars. Well, it's probably already down at like 25,000 Australian dollars soon, like in the coming years. So it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, really interesting to see the US copping a hiding at the moment, like that.
Well, I mean, Raz, just to clarify, Raz, we are in Australia, so our natural currency is AUD. So I agree with the point you're making here is very much, you don't want to be tied to a US dollar asset is the takeaway. Craig?
Yeah. Can you trade? I haven't been on bigger exchanges for a while. Can you buy Australian pairs on, say, a Binance or all those sorts? Yeah, cool.
I would never, personally, I'm not going to use Binance based on everything recently. But Craig, if you come to OKX, which there is a sign up down below, guys, they do have different currency pairs on there. So if you come to, hold on, let me pull it up. Here we go. So if you come to, I'm way too zoomed in. So the liquidity is obviously going to be a bit thinner. Like if we have a look, you've only got $205,000 of volume on OKX specifically, and only 40, and you've got 46 million in their stablecoin, and you've got 800 million in USDT. So liquidity is always going to be more supreme on the US dollar. But like we're showing you here, if I'm holding an asset for the long term, I probably want it pegged against the AUD, at least in this outperforming period. Then I consider maybe reselling it back into USD. Like, it'll be crazy. Like, these could become very similar in price in terms of BTC AUD and BTC USD, which is unfathomable because it was always like 1.5. It was 1.7, not like a couple of years ago, Craig, the conversion between one US dollar to one AUD dollar. So this is a serious thing that a lot of you should be considering right now. As always, not financial advice. This is us live breaking it down, understanding it in real time with you guys. So drop a follow, drop a sub if you're on YouTube, because we talk about this in real time publicly. I might have to start shifting my buys into BTC AUD, not BTC USD, Craig, because
let's go Australia.
I mean, this is crazy. Let me give you a bold take. Maybe BTC AUD and BTC USDT become a very similar value in maybe 2 years' time, Craig, which is crazy to think about, because it was always like, oh, Bitcoin got to 120K USD. Well, it was worth $180,000 or $190,000 for one Bitcoin in Australia, right? So there's definitely look, you could say arbitrage, like hedge here. where you can outperform fundamentally, depending on where your currency is based, right? And if you're in the US, I would be kind of worried. I mean, it's all in-house, like, so it's relative in-house. But if you want to maybe think about broader than crypto or broader than perps trading or broader than meme coins, you really should be thinking about the macroeconomics and the performance of your currency, because it is valuable and it is valued against other currencies that are currently outperforming it.
Yeah. I mean, is the play to buy the Bitcoin AUD pair and then in 3, 5, 7 years flip it to USD? I mean, I'm just going off last time, and I'm not saying that will repeat. But so, if you do that, will you get an extra percentage then on your Bitcoin gains, which should be hundreds of percent, probably? Possibly.
Well, yes, right. So if you buy X amount in okay, I could get this wrong. But if you buy X amount in AUD now and it continues to outperform USD, then naturally, if USD gets to a peak, you will have more Bitcoin or more value in Bitcoin in AUD currency compared to if you had just bought BTC USD at the same time. That's crazy to think about. That's some bloody deep level thinking here, live on Market Mates, guys. So I hope you appreciate that, us talking in real time. So Craig, I think that actually might be a shout, because at the end of the day, you got to remember, like, BTC is BTC. If you buy it on an exchange and you send it to if you send it to a cold wallet storage, it's just BTC as a value, right? Is it? I don't know. I haven't used my ledger yet, but is it a pair on your ledger, Craig? Like, is it BTC USD on your ledger, or is it purely just Bitcoin value, like 0.2 or 1.5, right? Tell me and tell everyone who's watching, like, is it a value of Bitcoin or is it pegged to a certain dollar? Because it would have to be, right? Because it would show you how much you're up or down or what the value is.
US dollar, USD is the amount. Yeah, which means, so it obviously gives you the amount of Bitcoin you've got, but then it's got that value displayed in USD. It's interesting. I've not given it a really deep amount of thinking before, because there hasn't really been the need, because obviously I even remember in 23 what felt like this, when you were converting when you were obviously selling Bitcoin sats into USD and then converting from USD to AUD if you wanted to off ramp it, you did quite well.
Yeah. It was always a bonus point, like 70% better than what you thought it was.
Yeah. So you used to get another extra win there for all the Australians in the room when you're converting to AUD for usable funds here. You got extra. It felt like you got extra, and you did. So it's kind of interesting enough. If I noticed that I got extra, I guess you'd notice when I got less. So it makes me go, oh, yeah, interesting, eh?
My GTG is in USD prices. Should I be changing that to AUD prices now? I don't know. It's a weird thought, like, because you lose on the conversion, you then lose on the transfer fee from USD to AUD to the bank. Like, I'm losing out here. So maybe I should look into changing that to AUD. But then people will be like, oh, what's AUD? And it's like, it's more, because it is like the equivalent, say like $100 US. It's probably like 130-ish AUD. And people will be like, oh, I'm paying more now. I'm like, no, you're just paying the same. It's just a different currency, bro. Maybe that's something I should be looking into. Check out AUD NSD before we move on. Yeah, no, this does look strong. Maybe, Craig, it's time to move back to New Zealand.
Yeah, look at them, eh? Pumping.
It's so breaking out.
It's strengthening, eh? Versus
AUD, yeah.
Which was the case when I just went over there.
Oh no, sorry. Incorrect. AUD is outperforming. AUD is outperforming New Zealand dollar. AUD is outperforming.
Yeah. That's right.
Dude, it's a good time to be in Australia. It's a good time to be in Australia.
What's going on with the AUD?
Hey?
Why? Is it just cyclic? Is this just cyclic?
Yeah, it's cyclic, but also it's probably just holding up better, right? Like it's just holding up better. Like our current, we're increasing rates.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder is it the rate increases that are helping prop that up versus other countries that are slow to react. It's a big world, eh?
I agree with Brad's take here. Almost like the US government is trying to devalue/debase their currency so that they can pay back the debt, Craig. That's very interesting. Very interesting take. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is a good take. I like that, Brad. I like where your head's at there.
That makes sense. I wouldn't put it past Trump to do something manipulative like that.
Yeah, I've been wondering when the US will attempt to pivot away from the petrodollar, because obviously other nations are starting to do it. Yeah, like I know there was a big fuss made when Brazil and South Africa, I can't remember the BRICS nations, who else was included in that, but when they started having negotiations, and the US actually got pretty mad about it. Obviously, because countries are starting to leave the table and go to and form little alliances. This was happening a while back.
Oh yeah, I remember when this happened so here we go. So as of early 26, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia. So you have absolute juggernauts here in terms of natural resources and oil. Plus you've got the juggernauts of India, China, and Russia. This is big. This is big for US troubles in the coming years. This is definitely big. Very big.
I think you're seeing a big changing of the guard. I'm really interested to see what happens moving forward over the next decade. I think we're going to see some gnarly chess moves, man.
I definitely think this is bullish for crypto, or Bitcoin specifically, as a value asset that is global. I think it's bullish.
That's possibly resilient to these moves being made versus currencies. Yeah, I agree with you. Sorry, I cut you off, Greenie. You go.
No, but it goes back to the point we were alluding to before. It's like, but if it's country specific, which we're here in Australia, it makes more sense for us actually to buy BTC AUD right now more than BTC USD if it's going to continue to outperform, which it does look like. It's breaking out of a 15-year downtrend like that. Like, if I was trading a minute chart with a meme coin, I would long the shit. I would buy that. I'd trade that. I'd be holding it, taking profit, the golden Fibonacci, right? That has a long way to go on the AUD USD pair. So, dude, I actually need to reconsider. Maybe I should take profit on my 65K entry and pivot that to AUD. I wonder if I can convert the Bitcoin to. I'll probably lose Bitcoin. It's probably easier just to sell it and then buy it as AUD Bitcoin. That's it. Okay, I'm glad we talked about this today. And Raz, shout out to you, Raz. Appreciate the follow and appreciate you you contributing, because it's always better when we can talk with chat and continue that conversation with your expertise too. So please, as always, comment on our stream and we will definitely engage with you every single day. We will, a reminder, we'll have a look at some altcoin charts later in the show. We've got a couple more news articles to touch on. This one, Craig, I can't say her name. Maxwell's lawyer, Ghislaine, Maxwell's lawyer says that she will clear Trump of any wrongdoing over dealings with Epstein in exchange for clemency over her 20-year prison sentence. Don't you love a bit of blackmail, Craig? Isn't blackmail just one of my favorite things to comment on?
Yeah, shucks. Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, that headline there is pretty
damning
in itself, which makes me edgy to think it's true, because obviously,
it's so hard to know.
So yeah, because who's to say Trump's done any wrongdoings, but they're insinuating that he has. Exactly. Oh man. I don't know, dude. Like, seeing that stuff, or seeing all that Epstein stuff come out is great. Like,
there's a lot of fun around Bitcoin too, eh?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, people getting worried about Epstein being Satoshi is wild to me. That's bear market stuff. Oh, have you seen those people that are able to unredact the photos and the text? They're now coming out now, and online now there's a whole bunch of cyber nerds basically that are going through and able to unredact a lot of the stuff. And now they're saying perhaps it's been released redacted, knowing that it can be unredacted, meaning possibly someone knows that it shouldn't be redacted, or wants whoever it's redacted to protect wants to unprotect them. Is that the right? I'm not using very good.
Yeah, no. I mean, just to further comment on that, I watched CoffeeZilla's 40-minute Epstein update video last week, and he said the same thing. Like in parts, they will redact. It'll be like this: a page above they'll redact the name, then the page after they don't redact the name. It's like, wait, what the hell's going on here? Why would they do that? Like, this is sloppy, but why? Like, yeah, exactly. So that probably confirms the point of they do know that you can use tools to unredact it or / find those photos somewhere else online. But it's so hard to know with AI these days, man. What's real, what's not real. It's kind of concerning. It is really concerning what's happening in the real world. Does this affect markets in any way? Probably not. Probably not. So it was just more of a comment to update that there's a lot of still, yeah, we don't know. We don't know how much Trump is involved. Will we ever know? Who knows? We'll wait and see. Back onto Bitcoin specifically, quantum panic over Bitcoin. CoinShares says the risk is real, but far from a crisis. I had a chat with ChatGPT months ago about this. And the real threat is probably 10, 15, 20 years away. And the only real threat is that the technology of Satoshi's wallet cannot be updated to the current technology that fights against quantum computing, right? So that's at least my very basic understanding of quantum computing as a potential threat to Bitcoin specifically. Have you ever looked into this specifically, Craig, at all? I mean, here it says, yeah, it poses a theoretical but distance challenge to Bitcoin, not an imminent threat. Is the key takeaway here that a lot of people love to use on crypto Twitter. Its meaningful exposure is confined to a small subnet of legacy. This confirms my understanding. Yep. Legacy addresses with only a tiny portion of capable of affecting liquidity. So aggressive fixes like burning coins are discouraged, with gradual upgrades favored to preserve decentralization and property rights. So yeah, that basically confirms what I just said. The tech is still too far away. The tech only really affects legacy wallets, so OG wallets that don't have the infrastructure to protect against, obviously, the quantum power that is probably emerging in maybe a decade or two.
Yeah, that was my understanding as well. I've listened to a few things on it, and the main thing those people were highlighting was what's highlighted there is it's the older wallets that are at risk, not the people like us. And it's in 1 to 2 decades away. So I guess still a risk. I guess it's Satoshi's wallet that's the big risk, though, isn't it? Because it's so big.
Yeah.
That how do you get around that? I just don't. I don't know.
Well, that it's exactly like it's beyond comprehension because it hasn't been built yet. Like that's the evolution of technology that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer that not to be a risk, definitely.
Yeah, but I think this is a risk. But again, it's going to be a minute risk because infrastructure for everything else will maintain the same to that point of time. I'm not too phased by it. I think it's a bit of a nothing burger. Will it affect Bitcoin specifically in years to come? Potentially, if the legacy wallets do not obviously receive the upgrades or et cetera, et cetera. I mean, they don't even have the private keys to those wallets, but you never know how quantum. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't even know. So I mean, it's just a comment to say I'm not worried about it. I think we still have plenty of time to make money in crypto for many years ahead. So stay patient and ignore the FUD and the news articles that get released every single day. But this is a good measured response because that confirms exactly our understanding as well, Craig. $13 trillion BlackRock CEO drops a bomb live on CNBC. Bitcoin and crypto could replace the traditional finance. This very much touches on the topic we've discussed today. He said, we see them as the next wave of opportunity over the next tens of years, moving away from traditional financial system to digital. Now we can get crypto into more traditional long-term products. This is, I was going to comment on this earlier, but it makes a lot of sense for the US to really strategically go after Bitcoin specifically, Craig, based on the conversation we touched on earlier.
Yeah, I agree. And if the US dollar is going to continue going down, they obviously need ways of escaping that. Bitcoin, right? I did have a listen to this clip. It is a really bullish clip, man. Like what that the quote there is actually what he says.
Yeah.
I mean, just a great clip. Great. He's saying amazingly bullish things. Imagine this. Imagine in 2021 us seeing this. This news article. I'd be like, oh my God. I'd be plowing money.
Dreams are made of in the past. And dude, I wish I understood. I'm such an idiot. Like I saw Bitcoin in like $300 in 2016 and I bought Litecoin instead, right? In 2019, I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum. I bought Ethereum at like $200. I bought Bitcoin at like $3,000, $5,000 or something. if only I had just held and actually understood. I was still like, I didn't dive into the tech. I just knew it was a speculative asset. We didn't really understand the bullishness that it could potentially get to, right? And so I swing traded it, but then I got scammed, like chasing NFTs and blah, blah, blah. So it's only really in recent years that I've finally understood the value of Bitcoin as a global asset, right? And it's such a shame because it's worth $70,000 now in US value. Whereas previously I saw it at 3 figures. That's how long ago I joined this space. It's such a shame. But one, I didn't have a lot of money either. I was still at uni, living paycheck to paycheck. So I wouldn't have bought a lot, but it's just crazy how time flies, really, Craig. It is.
Yeah, I remember, like I've said, I remember working in the gym and guys were coming in talking about, have you seen this new Ethereum and Litecoin? I remember Ethereum, Litecoin, obviously Bitcoin in the combos, and guys coming, personal trainers coming to the office going, oh, look how much my Ethereum's up. But back then it was kind of like, it was considered so risky. And it was so exotic to have those assets, whatever you want to call them, that people were just kind of flipping them for burgers, really, because they were like, holy crap, I'm up 3x on a $100 buy, because none of us had a lot of money. So I don't think these guys were putting in massive amounts of money. But I remember what it was like back then. I wish I'd been more open to it. I was like, what the hell's this stuff? And some of these guys are coming in and going, I'm in Ethereum and it's gone up this much. And I was sort of interested, but it's just damn. I guess you find it when you find it, right? It's like,
and you probably understand it when you understand it. That's the takeaway as well.
That's right. And when you do, you're like, it's so obvious. But until the penny drops, it's not so obvious. And it seems so. I was so risk adverse then as well.
I've watched a few YouTube videos of like crime and people who like were distributing Bitcoin back in like 2011 to 2016 when it was worth pennies, right? They're sending like 1,000 Bitcoin, right? And I'm like today that would be worth millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Some of these transaction sizes for the crime that you saw. Obviously, these guys all went to jail, but it's pretty crazy to look at that. Like, there was some guys that hacked Xbox when it first came out, which then hacked Microsoft, and they had the full exposure to Microsoft employees, Epic Games. It was a fascinating story, and they were just literally nerds who loved to code and loved to game. And anyways, they had like tens of thousands of Bitcoin like between them and whatnot, sending it around. Like, that's worth billions of dollars today. It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about how much money people just didn't value it until later now, right? So the last one here is obviously a wallet sent 2.56 Bitcoin to Satoshi's wallet, Craig, increasing the supply of this dead wallet. Now, the really interesting part is the understanding is it's just a burn address, really, is how you like to treat it. So rather than burning the tokens, they just send it to the wallet because obviously nothing's going to happen. So yeah, it's really interesting. This recently, imagine being that filthy rich that you just send 2.5 Bitcoin. It could have been a mistake, but one would choose to send it directly to that wallet. So I'm not going to call it a mistake. Maybe they wanted to create some headlines as well. Really interesting times. About $181,000 is worth in that transaction, Craig. Any comments on this specifically?
Yeah, what a good day to wake up and your wallet's up 2.56 Bitcoin. I would love that to happen to me. They must have been wanting to make a statement, I'm guessing. I mean, mistakes happen and you can put in incorrect addresses. We've probably all done it. Why they had Satoshi's wallet, because I know when you copy and paste between wallets, I've made mistakes before. I normally send test amounts as well. Some people don't. Sometimes mistakes happen. But why would you have Satoshi's wallet is what I'm wondering, copied and pasted when you're sending money around. I just don't know why someone would be even looking at that wallet it's weird. It's really weird. Maybe it's just a news headline. Damn. That's I don't know, man. It sucks if that was just an innocent mistake. You'd be like, no.
Yeah, surely not.
But I don't know how it could be. So maybe it's just another news headline. Can the devs do something? You'd be like, can you send that back, man? Satoshi. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that sucks.
It does. It does suck, or it was strategic and they're burning some of the supply. So GG's, another 2.5 BTC gone forever. Pangu, so we're going to go look at some charts, guys, in the last sort of 10 minutes or so. I think we're live with Bren actually later today, Craig, as well, in about an hour's time.
Are you sure it's not tomorrow?
I don't know. He sent us a DM saying it was today. So I don't know. I'm so confused. I don't know which day it is. Let me see if he's tagged me in a post yet.
Tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Okay, so we're live tomorrow. Okay, cool. Yeah. No dramas. No, so we'll look at charts shortly, guys. So make sure you comment any tickers you want us to look at. I know ProRo just sent ARK and Hippo. ARK I could not even find, and 2, Hippo is like a degenerate meme coin on Sui that is literally down 80%. So that has $34 of volume. I'm not bringing that sort of track. Like, meme coins are going to zero. If it's on chain, it's going to zero. I'm sorry, but you just need to be aware of that. Speaking of other meme coins, we'll start with Pengu Pump, which was commented by Duxer way at the start of the stream. So we'll look at Punk, Pengu, Hype, and XRP. Craig, I'll let you comment on this. It's listed on Binance Perps. Well, ARK. What is ARK? Maybe it's on. I'll have to have a look on TradingView, but I'll have a look shortly. But Craig, comments on Pengu. You own a little bit of Pengu. What are you thinking at the moment in terms of this token specifically?
Put it this way, I wouldn't buy here.
Oh, so why are you holding it? That is the real question. That's always a great question to ask. If you're holding it,
yeah, that's a really good question. I'm not wanting to. I'm not wanting to. So, why have I not taken action on this yet? Probably a case of analysis paralysis with everything else I was kind of holding. So it's just that it's just one of the smaller bags I just didn't get round to selling. I just took my eye off the ball, is the honest answer. And then when I went back to it, I'm like, shit, I can't go lower. And then it did go lower. So so I'm actually waiting. I'm actually waiting, hoping for another consolidation bounce or relief rally here, to be honest. I need to get the small bags I've got left of like Pengu, Mog, and Pepe. I have thought about recently, and I was kind of hoping that we might see a bounce out of here to about 80. And then I was hoping to take an exit. So that's kind of my play here now, is the last little bags I've got left were just bags that I considered inconsequential, which is kind of a bit silly, really. I should have just taken a day to do some housekeeping, really, on smaller wallets.
Yeah.
One of the downsides to having lots of wallets is it's easy to lose track of things. So something I need to do next bull run, another lesson I've got to learn, is trying to minimize the amount of wallets I have for easier tracking. That's one thing that I need to improve on, is that, because if I'd done that, I wouldn't have taken my eye off the ball. And literally, you take your eye off these for a week, man, and you go back and go, oh, I'll wait for the bounce, and the bounce doesn't come, and you take your eye off for another month, and then, well, this happens. So, yeah, dude, like you just said, if I wouldn't buy it here, why would I hold it? Answers the question. I should be out of it. So I'm trying to now time a relief rally to just get out of my last shite bags. The next question would be, what happens if you don't get a relief rally?
Yeah, which could happen.
Yeah. I'm on the tippy toe of just nuking, put it that way.
I would suggest, I mean, favorably, from my experience, this is why you stick to invalidations, right? Like it's as clear as that. But more to the point,
correct, yeah.
If you're down bad, holding this for years to come, you're just probably going to be disappointed. Look at Link, look at AVAX, look at so many tokens from last cycle. Look at Uni as well. Like, look at this. Like, look at this. This is like arguably one of the most bullish techs on Ethereum. Like you're currently here, right? So I don't know, or maybe like here, maybe we're here, right? Where it will definitely dump lower. And then we'll never really, like, you might get some, but it'll never go back up here. I'm not saying Pengu is the same, very different sort of trade. But I actually mentioned this to GTG this morning. I said, if you think about the Pudgy Penguin ecosystem, it has 3 tiers, in my opinion. Pudgy Penguins is number 1. Sorry, it probably has 4 tiers. Pudgy Penguins number 1, Little Pudgies is number 2, Pengu Token is number 3, and Abstract is number 4. So the lower you go down the risk curve of an ecosystem, the more pain you should expect. Hence why abstract memes are going to zero. NFTs are all going down. Volume's been pretty poor on a range of like chains, not just abstract specifically, but everywhere. Even Sui, like we saw on that meme coin before. But the more pain you're going to experience. So Pengu also has suffered more than the Pudgy Penguins. And arguably the Pudgy Penguins are up in Ethereum value over the past week or two too, whereas this has continued to bleed. So the issue we face here is that it has broken macro structure. It has lost those two bottoms. That's key for me. Like the fact it lost this low here from June last year and these lows from December, that shows me that the next logical target is about that 0.0037 mark, which is down another 40% from here. So for example, if you hold $10,000 of that, it's say you bought $10,000 previously, you're probably already down X amount. It's going to go down another $4,000 from the value of where it is currently today. So at least that's my experience, understanding how macro trends play out, how bear markets work, this being my third bear market. I would not be surprised if this does not continue down. And I'm saying this not just Pengu specifically. And this isn't FUD. This is analytics, okay? And fundamental understanding. Everything is pegged to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has monthly and quarterly bearishness. So that means like time capitulation will happen. And I'm not going to say that Pengu is just going to dump 40% like that, right? What is probably going to happen is just 2%, 3%, 5% moves consistently every week or over a month period of time until we finally find a bottom on the majority of altcoins and meme coins out there. So for me, I'm not even interested in meme coins or altcoins until I see Bitcoin starting to put in a bottom and show me strength. You will have ample time to accumulate a lot of these things. And arguably, there's really bullish tech like Jupiter out there who have tremendous volume, who are building such a great product. But that doesn't mean that their token has outperformed. If anything, it's been down only since it ever launched way back in whenever it was. So yeah, for me, I at least, I mean, that's a great question that you have to realize if you want to make it in crypto and win in crypto, Craig, is ask yourself, like, and be real with yourself. It's okay to take a loss, okay? Acknowledging a loss, taking a loss, literally will probably be the best thing you can do because that'll grow you as a trader. That'll grow you as an investor longer term. But if you're asking yourself right now, would you buy this chart? And you say no, you shouldn't hold that token. That's as brutal as I can probably say it. I think that's a great way to analyze your bags. It goes for anything out there.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing you can look at as well for myself is even though this chart's say down, what asset could you say that money's parked in Pengu, whatever it's parked in, would you prefer, even though it's at a 60, 70% loss, what's the better asset to put it into that's got a better chance of upside over the next, say, year?
Or sideways.
Or sideways, and that's probably Bitcoin if you want to put it in anything. You could convert it. I could convert it into stables, wait for Bitcoin to bottom out, then re-enter. So obviously I could make sure my entry was good because obviously my exit would be poor in Pengu here, but I could at least do the right thing and try and get a good entry on Bitcoin, and then allow the Bitcoin price to appreciate over time and recover some of the losses that have been experienced here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably I guess I'm looking to do is rotate out of these, either go straight into Bitcoin and just tell myself, don't worry about the entry, it's going to appreciate over time. What I'm more likely to do is probably go into stables, hopefully get Bitcoin at 40 to 50K, let that appreciate over 2-3 years, do a 4x, and that might recover my bag slightly, take a tax loss on the one, and then obviously have to pay it on the second. That's probably the maneuver I'm going to try and do. But another lesson on probably wallet hygiene, keeping an eye on all your wallets, and then having invalidation levels.
Just to comment as a comparison, Pudgy Penguins are back at $9,560. So they're up $3,000, well, maybe not quite $3,000, but they're up around $2,500 in the same time that Pengu is continuing to bleed. That tells you everything you need to know. Pengu is obviously, there's the team unlocks, there's also liquidity. Sure, it allows people to get in with liquidity, but it also means it's easier for people to sell because it has more liquidity. And Pudgy Penguins, again, has a higher ownership count, has less supply, is the number one of that ecosystem. So for me, it makes that, like, for example, Craig, asking the same question, why I'm holding my Pudgy Penguin. Would I buy it here? Yes. If I did not have one, buying a Pudgy Penguin, I think between 5 and 10K would be a yes for me. Would it be a yes for you?
Yeah, between 5 and 10. Yeah, I would.
So that answers our question. But for Pengu specifically, no. All right, moving on to the next one, Pump. The issue we probably have with Pump is that it's probably consolidating here. We never know if it's going to launch a an airdrop or not. But if we have a look here on the weekly and the monthly, or even like, it's just in a range now. This is a range for Pump. Can it break below the range or the range? Yes. Can it break above the range? Well, yes, but probably doesn't take time. So if you look at bottoms, traditionally they form potentially in a range bound environment. But usually altcoins suffer longer periods of time over because people get bored, people sell. They sell into fear. They sell out of boredom because they're chasing the new hot thing. So for me, a lot of these tokens their bottom is not in. I think we have plenty of time this year to accumulate a lot of great assets and probably poor assets for some people out there later this year. So for me, watch this range on Pump. Specifically between sort of what about 0.0338 and sort of probably around sort of 0.00175. So that's a massive range. You got to remember, like that's a 50% range. Could it dump from here? Absolutely. Like, I mean, it hasn't even cleared its capitulation wick. So for me, this could easily trade back down here. But I mean, treat it like a range until it doesn't, right? So if you get an opportunity at the range bottom, okay, you could trade it into range, right? So if you get down here, okay, if it reclaims long to here, okay, take profit, hold a little bit to get up here. And if it continues to show bearishness at these highs, then look to short it back towards the mid-range. So that is like a range-bound environment I get excited by because it's easy to trade. It's easy to trade with invalidations on both sides, longs and shorts. Buys and sells are very easy. So for me, I'm not really interested in Pump. Craig, are you interested in Pump at all? Got him with the drink.
Not especially. Not yet. I mean, I actually don't mind the way their chart looks though. With the consolidating their range like that, I actually don't hate that. Am I interested? A wee bit, but not till later. The other thing I'm just nervous about, or wary of, is the airdrop. Like what?
Exactly.
What's happening there, man? Like why hasn't that happened? I just don't understand. I mean, I understand he doesn't want to give away lots of money. Yeah, I don't understand it. I find that it's a little bit deceitful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I just find if the head of this token is promising people things and then he doesn't give it.
Yeah, that's such a bearish. And they made billions of dollars.
Like, it just means that he's willing to do anything, Elon.
Yeah.
That anything, promise things and then not delivers. Like, I don't know how this is not getting fudded more.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Is the timeline just not fudding it because they're that hopeful of a drop? They don't want to rustle too many feathers. And
well, I mean, you've still got people like Gainsey and Razmir who are streaming on there every day getting paid, right? So it's interesting. I mean, like it'd be fascinating to look at those tokens. I'll try and find one. So that was that. XRP will go next. Guys, any more? I mean, ARK, I'll pull up ARK, but it's the same conclusion that I basically have for most altcoins. They're going lower. If you look at XRP, Craig, I'll let you comment on this because you held it in the past. I know your family was. I mean, I think your dad held XRP. So yeah. Give us a little update on what you think here and what you like. Are you bullish on XRP too? Like, are you keen to buy this if it goes back towards like 50 cents or something like that? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I think for me, XRP isn't a bad buy. Not necessarily here. But it does perform in bull runs. It didn't perform massively last bull run. It was okay. It didn't pump as much as I thought it would last time. This bull run, it actually did quite well. Excuse me. From the bottom, am I interested in it? Yeah, I probably am, only because it's got such a amount of fanfare behind it. I just think having a little bag of this is probably not a bad idea. Maybe. But I'll be looking to accumulate some of this more in the bear market. As far as chart goes, man, it's a strange chart, dude. XRP, yeah, XRP just moves. I've looked at it for quite a while, and it moves quite weird. Those candles to the upside are just glorious. Look at that; it's so good.
That is pump and dump if I've ever seen one. Crazy.
Look at those candles; they're just unreal. I'm not super interested right now in this, but I would consider it possibly a buy in the bear market, just purely because of that manipulation, man. I do wonder though where XRP now sits in the grand scheme of things as far as cross-border payments and things like that. Is that going to come into fruition? Are those companies just going to make their own coin, which I was always worried about? Why do they need to use XRP? Why trust another company or business with those?
Probably because they have infrastructure already. But yeah, that would be my only thinking.
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess it's made in the US, which the US probably likes. They've been probably donating to government, I'm guessing. Well, they've been certainly going to enough dinners, Darling House and that. So, oh man, I don't know. It's so hard. The US is just so mucky, man.
It's manipulative. It's
risky. Would I buy some? Yes, I will in the bear market. Will I buy a lot of it? No. I'd buy it just as a hedge in case it ends up getting the cross-border payments 589 conspiracy theorists come true, but I don't know if that's the case.
Maybe it's maybe like a 2% allocation. 2% allocation. Is that generous?
Just a hedge on weird stuff happening.
Manipulation, sell into the pump again. We get a pump every few years and bang. So,
yeah, that's right. I don't mind. I don't hate it. I don't. Yeah. I'm not in love with it though. You talk to the XRP community's rabid.
Oh, it's wild, bro. It's wild.
They get mad clicks on. I think YouTube. That was a bit of a hack. I think that's why a lot of YouTubers covered in 21 because it just got so many clicks.
Yeah.
I just find the history of this coin is so shrouded in mystery. I don't know. Maybe you just have to hold it because of that reason. But I'm not a buyer here.
Lower. Yeah, agreed. No, I think it goes 50% down back towards that range where it broke out of. I mean, if you look historically, it did that, right? It has massive pumps and it does take time, but it dumps 84%, right? From this high as well. If you take from the wick, it went down 95%. So what's to stop it from really very much completing the exact same pullback of about an 80% move? So yeah, look, again, time capitulation is real. Price capitulation is easy to deal with. It's time capitulation that'll be the challenge for most people who watch our show. All right, the last time that was mentioned by that commenter was hype. As I said, it's showing bearishness below. I mean, we've covered this already extensively on other streams, but it's I'm short. I am still short from about, I don't know, $34 or $33. The weakness here, okay, like I've been saying, if it's maintained strength recently and everything else dumped, this is going to dump eventually. It's just going to take time, and that is basically playing out here. We now have bearish wicks here. Everyone was calling for $40, but if it's a saturated idea, if it's a saturated trade, that means it's no longer valued at the right value price, particularly heading into a bear market with Bitcoin dominance. Sorry, not Bitcoin dominance, but Bitcoin chart stochastic momentum very much still showing me bearishness for many months on the quarterly chart and the monthly chart. So for me, hyperliquid back to $20 to $25 seems inevitable, and I cannot wait to buy down there. And this is an exercising patience regime. So if you're someone who's AP into it, I did buy a little bit at 33.9. I moved my stop loss immediately to break even because I was like, this is risky, but if it breaks above the 0.5, this starts to challenge $40. But market environment hasn't supported that at all. So for me, Craig, I get very keen to trade this back towards the weekly order block down here that we have. Should hopefully see it around $24 to $22 is where I start to get pretty keen to accumulate some hyper liquid. Same consensus from you?
Yeah. I'm still very interested in this. Like you said, though, just patience is required. So I kind of like this part of the market actually in some ways because you get to relax a little bit and you just get to wait. And I don't mind waiting.
So valuable that.
We've been so locked in for this whole the bear market and the bull market. You and me were so locked in every day, just 15-minute charts. It was intense, man. So I'm actually enjoying the pace of the market at the moment and the cadence of the market, just in regards to, being able to step away, build out a brand. That's the good thing about keeping yourself busy in the bear market is you really can step away from the charts for a while and just build out, whether it's your personal brand, a business brand. Mm-hmm. If you're a creator, if you're a clipper, it's a good time to be doing things like that. And just, learning perps. There's so much you can learn in this market that there's almost not enough time. So, when things like this happen, the market slows down a bit. I really don't mind because I've been wanting a bear market for friggin' 6 months, man. So I could actually have a breath, take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very keen on hype. I'm very, very keen. I'm very keen at, like you said there, 20 to 25 bucks. I'll be keen. I want to accumulate this. This is my bear market. This and Bitcoin I'll accumulate in the bear market. I just want to see it go lower. Obviously, I've got a few coins left that I want to get out of. But to get these trades correct, I think I just need to chill and not try and buy every little dip. Just because, like everything else, I think it goes lower for longer. So like you said, I'm keen on this. Just got to wait towards the end of the year. So I am watching it, and it's holding up nicely, but it looks like this bad boy wants to come down.
Yeah, look, I mean, look at the 3-day here. We're below $34 and it's about to cross over. And naturally, when that happens, okay, you correct for a long period of time. That was about a month. No, probably about a 6-week period before it corrected. So 6-week period from here. So price was here. Okay. And price ended up being about there. So yeah, big corrective move. So yeah, you could easily say it's trading back towards $20. Like again, Eli comment is like, did you capitulate and buy? I said, no, I don't do that, bro. I'm 9 years in. I'm not making those beginner mistakes. That's not how I. That's not how I comment.
What's that?
He's like, oh, did you capitulate and buy? Because I did say hyperliquid looks good here. If it can get above the 0.5 fib, which it didn't, it rejected. I said no, I didn't capitulate and buy this. I had a system. My stop loss break even got hit on about $5,000. Again, I only went in real small, only about $5,000, and then I took a break even, stop loss hit, and now I'm ready to buy this sub $25 probably. Is where I start to get keen. Ark was commented earlier in the show. Not very good. I mean, this is a random altcoin. My biggest advice for people out there is, why on earth are you holding this and not Bitcoin? Like, seriously, like, why you did capitulate? And no, but it's not capitulation. It was a trade, right? It was a trade. The capitulation would be me buying it and then holding on to it in the corrective move. So yeah, no, I think stay patient, Eli. I think there's definitely good opportunity for us to accumulate it, probably back towards $26. So that's at least the level I'm watching. Now, the real takeaway for here, the reason for ARK, as it pumps quickly, it doesn't pump quickly. Like, let me pull up ARK USD versus BTC USD, all right? Okay, look, sure, and immediately, like most tokens, if they come out the gate, you're probably going to see an outperformance. But after that, it's literally down, okay? You're down against BTC. You're down 94%. Even more recently, say you got out in this vicinity over here, okay? You're still down 88%. This is the harsh reality for most altcoins that out there. They're literally going to zero against Bitcoin, and they're probably going to zero against the US dollar. I just want to be real. I don't want to fake shit and say you've got hope here. If you understand the tech, if you understand trends, sure, you can trade it through an outperformance period. But look at the trend here. Look at the trend. I don't know, Craig. I would never buy it. This does not look like an asset I would like to buy and hold. It would very much be maybe a quick scalp trade of outperformance, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if that was a heartbeat, you'd say that person's close to passing away. There's not much life left in it, especially against Bitcoin. So that just shows you're better off holding Bitcoin than ARK, which is not the best thing to do, because obviously if you hold other assets versus Bitcoin, you want it to outperform Bitcoin. Otherwise, you're better off holding Bitcoin or nothing.
But I don't like. He also said in the comment, like, it's a trade. Like, I don't see the trade. Where's the trade here? Like, a short. I would short this. Like, it's lost clear, like, 2 macro levels. It's lost this level, okay, which it held. This is the thing you got to remember. It held this level from July 24. Then it broke that level. It basically confirmed a retest here, and then is now broken this level. This is going very quickly lower. So, I mean, the trade here for me would be short and just stay patient.
Yeah, what is ARK?
No, it rings a bell. I don't know. It rings a bell, but I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I don't know, man. I don't know what trade the viewer's looking for. Does he mean the short-term scalps from 20 to 30?
Yeah, like,
look how much it gets smashed down, though. The sell pressure is just humongous.
Liquidity above, yeah, but it might never come and grab this liquidity. It might never come and grab that liquidity. It might never come and grab that liquidity. I mean, look at, like, again, compare this to similar altcoins, right? Link didn't even make a higher high this cycle. Did it ever come back and take this high? No. Did it ever come back and take that high? No. It came up and took that high, but then it didn't even come back and take it this high, right? So this is the thing. Like this is over a long period of time too. So 1,800 days. So the reality here, guys, I hope you appreciate realistic analysis and just someone who actually tells you how it is, Craig. I think that hopefully the brutalness of it, as much as it sucks to hear it, again, 10 years nearly of experience in this industry, most of the shit is going to zero. Trade a trend when you can, get out, rotate it into something better.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think that arc chart to me screams.
You've literally commented the last comment, and sorry to cut you off, Craig. The last comment there, that's what it is. It's a shitter. It's a shitter that's had a period where it did okay, but arguably it's not going to ever do okay again. I don't even know what it is.
I just think structurally wise, the chart that you brought up for ARC, it just doesn't look inviting to me. It doesn't fill me with confidence that upside's close. It's not even forming any sort of bot.
No, it's making new low. Yeah.
It looks like it wants to go lower for longer. So I'm just, not now or ever. I don't know. Bro, that just looks like it's so limp.
I mean, okay, let's compare. Okay, if that's such a worry, let's compare other things. Okay, this is a great example of a token that was launched more recently as well, Meteora. Okay, why would you want to hold that asset? Okay, seriously, why are you holding this asset? Look, for a period of time, you might get a breakout. Like I've got literally a breakout line here, but in the scheme of things, this still has not put in a bottom. It is making lower lows and lower highs over a long period of time. This has not put in a bottom. So why on earth would you hold something that's down 80% that could easily go down another 80%? Like if you're like the big difference here, and I was showing to GTG literally on a live stream this morning in-house, exclusive to them. You need to be able to differentiate how your approach is, right? So like for me, my approach right now is very much spot accumulation. I'm not really even keen to trade much perps at the moment because I don't really have a good read on the market price action. Plus, Bitcoin just put in one of the most volatile periods of time that we have not seen literally since 2021. So naturally, after a super crazy volatile period of time, you usually see not much volatility in the market, right? So why, again, if you're scalp trading this on a 4-hour chart, you can make money, okay? And GTG members do that every single day, and the traders in there as well. I don't, have the time to do that. I'm building out GTG ecosystem. And 2, I think for me right now, it's not about risk. It's actually about accumulation and playing time. And I will allocate more risk once I see time play out. Whether prices, I don't really give a shit about price, to be honest. And I think price often will go down on the majority of altcoins. But Bitcoin, we might trade. And I mentioned this on stream yesterday or the day before too, Craig. Like we might trade between 59K and 75K for 4 months. We might trade between 87K and 48K over the next 9 months, right? But it's time that I value, not price at the moment. Okay, price is already down at a level where I see value. I wait until time gives me the ultimate value where I know, okay, well now time is back in my court because we could see a bull breakout into the end of 26 or into the start of 2027.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, probably if you look at any charts on alts and memes, the answer is probably going to be no, not a buy. That's probably the main message here. I don't think it's the time to start taking risks with those assets now. It's just not, it's too risky. It's too dangerous. Too much of your capital can get eroded so easily at the moment. It's just the trend. The trend.
The trend is your friend, Lolos.
You can't fight it. And as much as I, in the past, have looked at moments like this and gone, oh, it's at such a big discount, I've learned over time it can go lower.
A discount doesn't necessarily mean it will ever come back.
No, it doesn't mean value either. Geez, is there any altcoin chart, Greeny, that for you is screaming buy?
No. So Hyperliquid was at 34 when it was outperforming Bitcoin and potentially breaking above the 0.5. Now that it has rejected the 0.5 fib, has also shown me weakness here against Bitcoin. There is literally no altcoin at all that I'm interested in holding in my portfolio, period. Okay. Like we said yesterday on the stream, until Hyperliquid, I don't even care where Hyperliquid gets to in terms of USDT price, right? What I care about here is a corrective move against Bitcoin, then timing this next breakout, okay? This next breakout, that is where I care. So if Hyperliquid is $40 by there, I don't really care, but I know it's going to outperform Bitcoin for that period of time after that. That's what we speak about. Trade a trend. I might even rotate some Bitcoin into Hyperliquid, Craig, during that period of time. I mentioned that earlier in the show too. So for me at this period of time, there is no altcoin or meme coin I'm even interested in. They go way lower, okay? Put this on tape, clip it, put it out there. Tell everyone I'm saying FUD. No, I'm just I'm a market analyst who knows exactly what they're doing because I've been doing it for so bloody long that I just give you the reality of education that unfortunately the majority of Coles and influencers and hopium bulls on the timeline who farm far more views and engagement than I do fill you these lies of hopium every single day. So I hope you appreciate that. If you appreciate that, drop a follow, drop a sub, because we appreciate you. Thank you.
That's yeah, well said. I see there's still a few more people on the timeline waiting for some bullish moves to come.
Don't get me wrong, we'll probably bounce at this vicinity because volatility has gone so low, right? I mean, if we look at Bitcoin on like a daily chart, like we will probably spend time in this range. I don't think a capitulation price event happens, at least in the short term. If it does, then it would probably be a black swan event or it's something has happened, right? Someone's underwater, someone's insolvent, something like that. Sure, it could happen. Never say never. But I don't think that happens for at least maybe a few weeks, months, in my opinion, right? Like volatility hit levels we have not seen in years. Can it go higher? Absolutely. But usually there's probably another catalyst that happens for that to continue the already expansive volatility move that we've observed. So for me, again, if you look at this price action, it's not easy to trade. Like, I mean, down on the 4-hour chart, like what is this? Like, I mean, if you're trading like sick, like if you want to trade a range here, you probably could, right? This is your range, right? Where price is coming in here, there's your range on a 4-hour chart. So you could trade this. You could probably say you'd probably move it down to these highs, right? On a low time. I mean, I haven't analyzed this at all. So maybe I'd look at, let's go to the candle wick here on the 12-hour chart, because it filled this inefficiency over here, okay? This FEG here, all right? That's how price works on low time frames. Come down on the 2-hour, and you should get a few scalping opportunities. So if you want to scalp Bitcoin, you go for it. But I would not, I mean, you could do the same on altcoins. They're going to be more aggressive to the downside, and they're going to be more aggressive with their bounces. That's how it works. They're further down the risk curve. But if I'm looking at this, there's not many opportunities to trade this, okay? You could be looking to short. You've got 3 drive here into an order block as well. So that would have been the first setup I liked, is that short from the, as I showed you before. Hold on, let me clean it up for you so you guys see. Let me get rid of those. So this is an order block over here. Okay, there's a partial order block. Match that with a FEG on a 12-hour chart here. So that's a high confluence area that we probably see a bit of a rejection from there. We also had 2-hour overextension on stochastic up into here. 3 drives at these highs, not once to be closed below that basically this level here. With a candle body. So naturally, that would have been my sign to probably look for shorts back towards here. I'm pretty sure on the 4-hour, it was also very overextended. Or maybe it was the hour. I don't know. But I had a look at this the other day. I was like, it was the hourly. So on the hourly, we're overextended. So this is what I mean. If you're scalp trading, there's money to be made. If you're not doing that, then for me, it's very much just spot accumulation, play time, build out the business so that it's better for you who can come and join us in GTG.
Yeah. Don't buy yet, guys. That's the moral of the story today. Just accumulate Bitcoin, I think. Yeah, I think, lower for longer, Greeny. We've said it for a while. Obviously, there's still people bullish in the market now. I think that's eroding, or there's less and less. But if there is still people bullish, I'm still seeing the odd person pull up the altcoin chart and say, we still got to have this explosive move to have a bull market. It's like, man, I don't know how you didn't see the bull market. I just don't understand how some people didn't consider that a bull market. But Rect could be a buy here, Greeny.
I bought like $1,000. I think I own $1,000 here, and I think it goes lower. So that's just me being like, okay, it's already down and it's 886. We pull back. I know that this doesn't get affected by leverage and perps as well. So that's a big difference. So volatility should be okay. So for me, if this goes back to 50 mil, I said this in GTG as well this morning. I said, I honestly think that's an easy trade. I think that's an easy multiple X in the years to come based on a product that is non-crypto related, that does translate back into the token itself and the community. And the founders of Rect are so plugged in that it just makes me so arguably bullish on a culture / brand / real business that's putting money back into their token, right? So yeah, I think if this goes sub 50, might be time to back up the truck. and put a bit of cash into it. So yeah, that's that might be the last chart we look at. We've been going for. I need to stop. My voice is getting way too sore.
Yeah, you've done well actually. That's a school teacher coming out of Greenie. He's good. Yeah, I think this will be this will probably be one of the few meme coins that I buy will be wrecked. Probably Bitcoin hype, and then wrecked might be thrown in there as well. I'm just again waiting for a bit lower, but for all the reasons you just said, the founders, buybacks, etc., they got some real world products in there, and I know those guys will continue to work whether it's bear or bull as well. So yeah, I think another great shout. I'm just willing to be patient, but I think chart setup wise, that doesn't look bad now. Structurally, it doesn't look too bad.
Well, structurally, it's actually holding its capitulation 4% supply dump. So I mean, I probably would say we revisit that based on my analysis. I would say we revisit that. So and I think I'll buy that. I'll probably be pretty keen to buy that. So yeah, I mean, that's been a great stream. Thanks for hanging with us today. I reckon that was good.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us. I just caught up with the chat now. Shout out to the Pickle. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. Greenie, you're away Thursday, aren't you? So it'll be our stream tomorrow, and then we'll be on with Bren slightly later in the day, which should be a banger chat as well with the big fella. So yeah, super cool to be chatting with some other creators as well and other traders. It'll be interesting to see where Bren's mind's at the moment.
Remember, he was bullish.
Yeah. Sort of I'm interested to see where his mindset is now compared to when did we speak to Bren? Maybe a month ago. Yeah, so that'll be a good chat. But no, hold your money, guys. Hold your money. Get ready to buy. I think later.
Hodl it in AUD because it's going to outperform for the next 15 years against the US dollar.
Yeah, except for I guess the most bullish thing we looked at today was AUD. Shout out to the Australians in the room. The only good chart.
Just a comment earlier. I can't remember. It was Ruz. Yeah. So Ruz, I think Ruz thought we were from the US or like commenting from a US perspective. No, AUD. And he commented about rates going up. Rates going down in AUD. I said, no, Australia is actually increasing rates, which is probably why it drives more liquidity to the dollar because the dollar's worth more and you get more interest in your savings bank accounts, right? And leverage goes down. You can't lend as much if you're borrowing for money for a house, for a car, all those sorts of things. So naturally, that's probably why the AUD currency is doing well and outperforming the USD because they're trying to cut and beat that, right? Inflation and whatnot. So yeah, interesting times. We'll be covering every day live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard and 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time here. So Brisbane time for our Aussies. Craig, great show, mate. And we'll be back again tomorrow.
Thanks, Greenie. Thanks, everyone, for pulling up. And, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. And, yeah, like we said, we'll chat our normal time, and then we'll be chatting on Bren's show tomorrow, I think a couple of hours later. So will be a great little chat. So, yeah, look forward to that, Greenie. And I'm going to finish my yard work now, man. So I've got to break my back with a spade for a little bit.
That's right. I'll break my back trying to build GTG ecosystem.
Yeah, go, dude. Go.
Thanks for hanging with us, guys. As always, if you're new here, drop a follow on all of the socials that you're watching, whether it's on my Twitch, which I don't think we actually have a viewer right now, on Kick for Market Mates, or our personal YouTubes, or obviously on X. Give us a follow. Greenie Trades, Craig's Coin Purse, or Market Mates, MKT Mates, and you can get this show live every day.